NOCCA Talks, are you listening? I'm your host, Jack Bajosian, and today we're in the studio with the creative writing students. A couple of things you guys should take a note on. If you're thinking about applying for NOCCA next year for the 2013-2014 school year, you can find the application online at www.nocca.com. And also on the website, you can find cool NOCCA merchandise like this t-shirt, card magnets, and much more. Well, this week we asked our creative writers, we gave them a prompt and asked them to write us a few sentences after that, so let's hear what they have to say.
All of a sudden, a huge gust of wind pushed open the front door and revealed a woman sitting on a rocking chair, reading a children's book. 3-year-old Charles turned to the woman and asked, "How did you get on my front porch?" She looked up from the small book and exclaimed, "Joey, I thought I put you to bed."
All of a sudden, a huge gust of wind pushed open the door, and a woman who had previously been steaming tea out of the kettle rushed to close it. Wrapped in a woolen polyester sweater, she shut the door and noticed, looking at her feet, that an acorn had rolled just inside, stopping against the leg of her wooden table. She picked it up, rolled it around in her hand, and slipped it into her pocket before returning to the crying kettle.
All of a sudden, a huge gust of wind pushed the door open, and there was the world outside, forcing itself upon the living room like a reaching hand. The paintings watched and said nothing. The voice was for her. It touched her skin and she cowered because she was not used to harsh things.
All of a sudden, a huge gust of wind pushed the door open, and I swiftly jumped up to close it. I asked myself, why is it so windy in this city? I mean, I don't live in Chicago. I walked back to the couch and returned to sleep. I was thinking, I need to get sturdier locks.
So we gave these guys a day to write these stories, and here's what they came up with. How'd you guys get the inspiration so quick?
Well, I just kind of imagined how would I respond if a door just suddenly opened in my face, and I came up with what I came up with.
Cool. And what about you guys? How do you guys get ideas for different stories?
Well, I always look to my favorite writers and poets. I read a lot of poetry outside of NOCCA, and I always look to the techniques they use or what shocks me the most or what makes me feel the most, and I always try to not copy what they do, but look to what they do in hopes of inspiration, and that's what I did for this prompt. And
what are some of your favorite writers and poets?
Mary Oliver, definitely my favorite poet. She writes a lot about nature, which is kind of boring, but she makes it really cool. I don't know, a lot of writers. But yeah, my favorite poets are Sylvia Plath and Mary Oliver. So.
And do you guys do this stuff in the beginning of class? You have little exercises where you write prompts just to get your brain going? Or how does a typical day in class look like?
To begin with, we start, we'll have a group discussion to begin with, pretty much, and we just talk. We just we sit around, and normally we have read a short story the night before, and we have a group discussion on that. And sometimes, depending on what we're doing, we'll sit down for 10 minutes and write. He'll just give us a prompt or something, and we'll write, and then we'll share them later during class. But I think the best writing comes out of your personal experiences, and so you base your stories off of what you've been through, and so I think that's the most honest work.
That's good to know for college essays. So tell us about what kind of writing you guys do in class.
Well, I guess we do different types of writing. Right now we're working on fiction with Michael, but last semester we did poetry with Ms. Gislason, and then it's rumored that we'll be doing magical realism the third quarter, but that's not confirmed. Yeah.
And you guys have a student-published book of literature, and the visual arts students get in on this too and put in artwork called Umbra. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we're all level 1s, so we haven't gotten a chance to submit our work, but I did after school last year and I submitted my work. I didn't get in. But usually you submit your work to the level 3s, and the level 3s are the ones that organize most of it. And every year they come up with a book and you can buy it. It's really good. I read the one last year. I have one from 2009, and it's amazing stories. You usually have to be an upper level student, but they pick them from every single level. It's really not based on what level you're in, but really just the power of that certain piece, and they want to put it in the book. But if you're not picked, it's just like, it's not anything personal. You just, you know, you're not going to get published in everything, but you always try to, you work harder. And it's always great because you can read, we have them all in the hallway outside of our classrooms. You can read them from like back like in the 70s. They have them,
Oh,
the
cool.
same published books. And so you can look for a lot of inspiration. Like sometimes during break I go and I look at some of them, and some of them are just like amazing. And it's always better, for me, it's always better to look at a writer that is your age or someone that was your age that created something, because it's always, I don't know, it's always more inspiring when you know that someone your age made that. So it's more of a way to level yourself out with everyone else in the playing field. So.
And you guys might not have been published in Umbra, but have you guys been published anywhere else or won any contests or anything with your writing? Yet?
Yeah, I won the William Faulkner, well, I didn't win the William Faulkner contest, but I placed as like a semifinalist this year, so that was
That's
a lot
great.
of fun. Yeah, so a lot of really, like, usually the kids in the creative writing program at NOCCA are usually the ones that place in like all the contests. Like they usually get first place.
Like in the Scholastic.
Yeah, like Lee Villa got first place for the William Faulkner contest, like regionals, so that was really cool. But there's a lot of contests, and there's actually not a lot of creative writers, you know, because like creative writing isn't the most popular art. So.
Well, hopefully with this video we can get some more creative writers on your team.
Yeah, definitely. It's great though. So, yeah.
It's a great experience.
And tell me, do you guys, is this something you do for fun? Do you think you'll have a career going into this field?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think if you're going to NOCCA period, then you are really serious about what you're doing. But especially because there's so few creative writers, and like people don't normally see that as like something you want to do. Like people are not they don't like writing, and they just find it boring. But so I think if you come here to do it every single day, you must really love it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think everybody can agree that they want to do something like with it. I mean, maybe not just be like a novelist,
Mhm.
but definitely like have some sort of writing in the career that they choose.
Well, that's great to hear, guys. Well, hopefully with this video we can get you some more creative writing students. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Megan, Alex, Sarah, and Marcus, and we look forward to seeing our viewers next time on NOCCA Talks. And don't forget those applications on www.nocca.com. See you next time. Bye.